course, everybody knows that up and down, and all the problems that I caused for myself.
Country music legends gave us timeless songs, but behind the fame were egos, violence, addictions, and betrayals fans rarely talk about. These weren't just rebels. Some hurt the people closest to them and left chaos wherever they went. From guns in prison to jealousy and control, these are the 15 biggest jerks in old country music history. Number 15. Spade Cooley. In the 1940s, Spade Cooley was a huge star. He was a Western swing legend, a popular bandleader, and a familiar face on television. His music was everywhere, and people saw him as a clean and respectable entertainer. To the public, he looked like a successful man who had everything going for him. But behind that image was a much darker reality. People who knew him personally later described him as controlling and violent. He had a serious temper and was known to treat his wife, Ella Mae Cooley, very badly. At the time, abuse inside the home was rarely talked about, especially when the man involved was famous. So many things were hidden from the public. Everything changed in 1961. Spade Cooley brutally unalived his own wife in a violent attack. This was not a misunderstanding or a moment of weakness. It was an act of extreme cruelty. When the details came out, the shock was massive. Fans could not believe that the smiling country star they watched on TV was capable of something so horrific. His career collapsed instantly. Radio stations stopped playing his music. Television networks cut all ties. His name became something people did not want to mention. He was arrested, put on trial, and sentenced to life in prison. The fall from fame was total and final. Years later, he was briefly released from prison for a medical procedure, but he passed away shortly after in 1969. Today, Spade Cooley is remembered less for his music and more for the crime that ended his career and his life. When people talk about jerks in country music history, his name comes up not because he was difficult or rude, but because he committed an unforgivable act. His story proves that talent means nothing without character, and that fame can never hide the truth forever. And if you think this story is already hard to listen to, wait until number 14, where the controversy shifts from violence to racism that shocked even outlaw country fans. Number 14. David Allan Coe. David Allan Coe did not become controversial by accident. From the very start of his career, he leaned into shock, confrontation, and behavior that made people uncomfortable, and that is why many label him one of the biggest jerks in old country music history. But his worst choices are what defined him. Outside his mainstream work, Coe released underground albums filled with racist language, hateful stereotypes, and deliberately offensive lyrics. These were not hidden mistakes or leaked recordings. They were planned releases. Many listeners were shocked, not just because of the words, but because they felt unnecessary and cruel. Coe often defended himself by saying he was playing a character or testing free speech. But to many people, that excuse did not hold up. Country music fans were used to rebellious artists, but this felt different. It was not a rebellion against power or authority. It was attacking people who had nothing to do with the system he claimed to fight. His behavior off stage did not help his reputation either. Promoters and musicians often described him as difficult, unpredictable, and confrontational. Shows were canceled, arguments broke out, and some venues refused to book him at all. Over time, working with David Allan Coe became more trouble than it was worth. As country music slowly tried to grow, Coe became a problem the industry did not want to deal with. Many artists distanced themselves from him. Radio stations avoided mentioning his name. His legacy became split between those who praised his songwriting and those who could not look past his actions. David Allan Coe became an example of how talent can be buried by bad decisions. Instead of being remembered only for his music, he is remembered for pushing things so far that he pushed himself out. Number 13. George Jones. George Jones had one of the greatest voices country music has ever known. But off the microphone, George Jones was a nightmare. He struggled badly with alcohol and addiction for many years. His drinking was not casual. It controlled his life. He missed recording sessions, skipped rehearsals, and failed to show up for concerts. Fans would buy tickets, travel long distances, and wait for hours, only to be told that George Jones was not coming. This happened so often that he earned the nickname No-Show Jones. Promoters lost money, band members were frustrated, friends and family were exhausted. His marriage to fellow country star Tammy Wynette was especially troubled. Their relationship was filled with arguments, emotional pain, and substance abuse. Tammy later spoke openly about how difficult life with George could be. Even though they loved each other, his addiction made stability impossible. There were also frightening moments. George Jones once admitted that he fired a gun during a drunken argument. Other times, he drove while heavily intoxicated. One famous story says he rode a lawnmower for miles just to buy alcohol after his wife tried to stop him. These stories became legends, but behind them was real danger and real harm. Despite many chances to change, George Jones kept falling back into the same destructive habits. People tried to help him. Some gave up, others stayed, hoping he would finally turn things around. Later in life, he did get sober and took responsibility for his past. He admitted he had hurt many people and wasted many opportunities, but the damage had already been done. His reputation as unreliable and difficult never fully disappeared. George Jones is remembered as a genius with a broken life. His voice was perfect, but his choices were not. And if you think addiction made George Jones hard to deal with, wait until number 12, where violence and a short temper turned an outlaw legend into a walking time bomb. Number 12, Johnny Paycheck. Johnny Paycheck had real talent, but staying focused was the problem. Paycheck had a long history of fighting, substance abuse, and reckless behavior. He was known for his short temper and unpredictable mood. One moment he could be charming and funny. The next moment he could turn aggressive. Many musicians and promoters said they never knew which version of him they would get. His addiction to substances and alcohol made things worse. He missed shows, showed up late, or performed in terrible condition. Band members feared him. Business partners did not trust him. His career was constantly stopping and starting because of his behavior. The most damaging moment came in 1985. Johnny Paycheck shot a man during an argument in a bar. This was not a rumor or exaggeration. It led to a criminal conviction, and he went to prison and served time. For many fans, this crossed a line that could not be ignored. Country music had a history of wild behavior, but gun violence pushed things too far. Even after prison, Paycheck struggled to stay clean. He blamed others for his problems and often refused to take responsibility. People tried to help him, but many eventually walked away. Working with Johnny Paycheck was seen as risky and exhausting. Despite everything, some fans still defended him. They said his pain made his music real. Others said that explanation only went so far. At some point, personal suffering stops being an excuse and starts being a pattern. Johnny Paycheck passed away in 2003. His legacy remains complicated. He is remembered for one of the most famous outlaw country songs ever written, but also for a life filled with anger, violence, and missed chances. His story shows how easily talent can be wasted when self-control is missing. Number 11, Porter Wagoner. Porter Wagoner liked to be in charge of everything. He wanted control over the music, the image, the money, and the people around him. This attitude became a serious problem when he hired a young and extremely talented singer named Dolly Parton. At first, he helped her career. He brought her onto his TV show, recorded duets with her, and introduced her to a wider audience. Then things turned sour. As Dolly's popularity grew, Porter struggled to handle it. He did not like sharing the spotlight. He wanted her success to stay tied to him. When Dolly decided she wanted to go solo, Porter took it personally. What should have been a professional decision turned into a long and bitter conflict. Porter Wagoner tried to block Dolly's career behind the scenes. He fought her legally. He demanded control over contracts and royalties. The dispute lasted for years and caused deep emotional stress. Dolly later admitted that the situation hurt her badly, even though she stayed polite in public. Many people in the industry began to see Porter as petty and jealous. Instead of supporting someone he helped discover, he became an obstacle in her path. Musicians and insiders described him as stubborn and unwilling to let go of power. Porter also had a reputation for ego. He believed strongly in his own importance and did not handle criticism well. Some performers felt uncomfortable working with him because everything had to be done his way. Eventually, Dolly Parton won her independence and became one of the biggest stars in music history. Porter Wagoner later admitted he made mistakes and expressed regret, but the damage to his reputation was already done. Today, Porter Wagoner is remembered for his music and influence, but also for how control and pride pushed people away. His story shows how ego can turn success into conflict and mentorship into rivalry. And if you think Porter Wagoner struggled with jealousy, wait until number 10, where family legacy and public outbursts created even bigger controversy. Number 10, Hank Williams Jr. From early on, Hank Williams Jr. made it clear that he did not want to live in his father's shadow. Hank Williams was a legend, and the pressure was heavy. Instead of handling it quietly, Hank Jr. often lashed out at critics, the media, and even fans. He developed a reputation for being aggressive, defensive, and hard to work with. As he became more famous, his public behavior grew more controversial. Hank Williams Jr. frequently made inflammatory political statements that shocked the country music world. He compared political figures to some of the most hateful people in history, which caused immediate backlash. Sponsors pulled away, television networks cut ties, longtime fans felt uncomfortable uncomfortable and disappointed. Instead of apologizing, he doubled down. He framed every criticism as an attack on free speech and personal freedom. While some fans cheered him on, others saw a pattern of refusing responsibility. To many people, it looked like he enjoyed provoking outrage more than protecting his career or respecting his audience. He also had a reputation for being difficult behind the scenes. Stories from industry insiders describe arguments with producers, tense interviews, and canceled appearances. If something did not go his way, he often reacted angrily. This made working with him unpredictable and stressful. Over time, Hank Williams Jr. became less known for his music and more known for his behavior. His songs were still played, but conversations about him focused on controversy rather than creativity. For an artist with such a powerful legacy, this was a major fall. Many people believe Hank Jr. confused honesty with hostility. Speaking your mind does not always mean attacking others. What started as independence slowly turned into isolation. Number 9. Waylon Jennings. Waylon hated being told what to do. He fought record labels, producers, and managers constantly. He demanded full control over his music and his image. While this helped change country music for the better, it also made him difficult to work with. Many people in the industry said Waylon always needed things his way or not at all. Addiction played a huge role in his behavior. Waylon Jennings was heavily addicted to cocaine for many years. The addiction affected his mood, his health, and his relationships. He became unpredictable and sometimes aggressive. Friends and band members did not always know what version of Waylon they would get. Some days he was generous and kind. Other days he was angry, distant, and impossible to deal with. There were moments when his actions hurt people around him. He missed important events. He damaged friendships. He made reckless decisions without thinking about the consequences. One of the most haunting moments tied to him was his connection to the plane crash that unalived Buddy Holly. Waylon had jokingly told Buddy he hoped the plane crashed after giving up his seat. That joke haunted him for the rest of his life. Waylon also had a tough, blunt personality. He did not sugarcoat anything. If he did not like someone, he made it clear. Some fans saw this as honesty. Others saw it as arrogance. Not everyone appreciated his attitude, especially in a business built on relationships. Despite all this, Waylon eventually got clean. He admitted his mistakes and talked openly about how addiction nearly destroyed him. He took responsibility later in life, but the damage to his reputation had already been done. Waylon Jennings remains a legend, but also a warning. He proved you can change the system and still hurt people along the way. His story shows that rebellion can create freedom, but it can also leave scars. Number 8. Jerry Lee Lewis. At the peak of his fame, Jerry Lee Lewis shocked the world when it became public that he had married his 13-year-old cousin. This was not a rumor or gossip. It was true, and it ended his career almost overnight. Radio stations dropped him, tours were canceled, fans turned away in disbelief. Instead of showing remorse, Jerry Lee Lewis acted like he did nothing wrong. He mocked the press, insulted interviewers, and refused to apologize. His attitude made the situation even worse. Many people felt he did not understand why the public was upset or simply did not care. What could have been handled quietly became a public disaster because of his arrogance. Jerry Lee Lewis was known for being aggressive, rude, and sometimes violent. He threatened people with guns, he got into fights, he scared promoters and journalists. Some venues refused to book him because they did not feel safe. His temper was legendary and not in a good way. He also treated people around him poorly. Band members came and went. Relationships failed. Several of his marriages ended in tragedy and chaos. While addiction played a role, many believe his lack of empathy made everything worse. Despite all this, his talent kept pulling him back into the spotlight. He eventually rebuilt part of his career, especially in country music. Songs like Another Place, Another Time showed a softer side and reminded people of his musical greatness, but the damage never fully healed. Jerry Lee Lewis became an example of how fame can magnify bad behavior. Instead of learning from consequences, he often leaned into his worst instincts. To many fans, it felt like he believed talent gave him permission to do anything. His story is a reminder that genius does not cancel out responsibility. You can be groundbreaking and still be deeply flawed. Number 7. Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash is known for dark, powerful songs like Folsom Prison Blues and I Walk the Line. His deep voice and outlaw image made him one of the most respected figures in country music. Many people saw him as a symbol of honesty and redemption. But for many years, Johnny Cash was very difficult to deal with. At the height of his fame, he struggled badly with addiction. Pills controlled his life. He became moody, reckless, and unreliable. He missed shows, destroyed hotel rooms, and damaged expensive equipment. Some venues refused to book him because they did not trust him to show up in good condition. Cash's behavior affected everyone around him. His first marriage suffered because of his addiction and constant touring. Friends and band members were exhausted trying to manage his unpredictable behavior. At one point, he was arrested multiple times and became known to police and promoters for the wrong reasons. One of the most serious moments came when Johnny Cash started a forest fire in California while under the influence. The fire caused major damage and unalived endangered wildlife. He showed little remorse at the time, which angered many people. For some fans, this crossed a line between rebellion and irresponsibility. Johnny Cash also had a sharp temper. When challenged, he could be cold, dismissive, and aggressive. Some people who worked with him described him as selfish during his worst years, caring only about feeding his addiction. Later in life, Johnny Cash cleaned up his life with the help of June Carter. He admitted his mistakes and tried to make amends. That redemption story is why many people forgive him today. But the truth remains that for many years, Johnny Cash hurt people, damaged trust, and caused real harm. His story shows that legends are not always heroes. And if you think Johnny Cash was difficult, wait until number 6, where violence, anger, and a gun turned an outlaw songwriter into a headline nightmare. Number 6, Billy Joe Shaver. Billy Joe Shaver is known for raw, outlaw country songs like I'm Just an Old Chunk of Coal and Honky Tonk Heroes. Substances, alcohol, and constant conflict shaped much of his life. People around him never felt fully relaxed because they did not know what he might do next. The most infamous moment came in the early 2000s. Billy Joe Shaver shot a man outside a bar in Texas during an argument. He claimed it was self-defense and was later acquitted. But the incident shocked fans and reinforced his image as dangerous and unstable. Carrying a gun and using it during a dispute crossed a line for many people. Even before that incident, he was known for aggressive behavior. He got into fights, threatened people, and often pushed situations too far. Some musicians admired his honesty, but others stayed away because they did not want trouble. His personal life was also full of chaos. He struggled with addiction for years. His family life was unstable and painful. The death of his son added more emotional weight and deepened his anger. Instead of slowing down, he often leaned into confrontation. Billy Joe Shaver did not care much about public opinion. If someone challenged him, he responded aggressively. Some fans called this authenticity. Others saw it as refusing to grow up. While his music earned respect, his behavior limited his career. Promoters were cautious. Collaborations were rare. His reputation followed him everywhere. Number 5, Merle Haggard. Before fame, Merle spent time in prison. That experience shaped his music, but it also shaped his attitude. He carried a deep resentment toward authority and anyone who challenged him. Even after success, he never fully let that anger go. Merle had a long history of alcohol abuse. When drinking, he could be rude, aggressive, and impossible to reason with. People close to him said arguments could explode over small things. Band members, promoters, and even friends often walked on eggshells around him. His relationships were unstable. Merle Haggard married multiple times, and many of those relationships ended painfully. He admitted later that he was unfaithful, controlling, and emotionally distant. He often put his career and ego above the people closest to him. This pattern caused long-lasting damage in his personal life. Merle also made controversial public statements. Some of his songs were taken as political attacks, and he rarely clarified his intentions. When criticized, he reacted defensively instead of listening. This earned him a reputation as stubborn and combative. Even in professional settings, Merle could be difficult. He canceled shows, argued with management, and refused to compromise. While fans admired his honesty, the industry saw unpredictability and attitude problems. Later in life, Merle softened and reflected on his mistakes. He admitted he hurt many people and lived with regret. But for years, his temper and pride pushed people away. Number 4, Hank Williams. Hank Williams is known for timeless country songs like Your Cheatin' Heart and I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. His music defined country music itself. He sang about heartbreak, loneliness, and pain in a way no one had before. Even today, his songs are everywhere. But behind the genius was a man who was very hard to deal with. Hank Williams struggled badly with alcohol addiction. Drinking controlled his life and his behavior. He missed shows, showed up drunk, and embarrassed himself on stage. Promoters lost money, band members were stressed, fans were disappointed. His addiction made him unreliable. The Grand Ole Opry fired Hank Williams because he kept missing performances and refusing to follow rules. This was a huge moment in country music history. Being kicked out of the Opry showed how serious his behavior had become. Even his talent could not protect him anymore. Hank also used painkillers heavily due to chronic back pain. Mixing alcohol and substances made his condition worse. His mood swung constantly. Sometimes he was gentle and kind, Other times he was angry, rude, and unreachable. His personal life was unstable. Hank's marriage failed because of his drinking and constant traveling. He hurt the people who loved him most. Friends tried to help him, but many gave up because he refused to change. Despite warnings, Hank kept going. He passed away at only 29 years old on the way to a concert. His death shocked the world and turned him into a legend, but it was also preventable. His lifestyle caught up with him before anyone could save him. Hank Williams is remembered as one of the greatest songwriters ever, but he is also remembered as a man who let addiction destroy his life and hurt everyone around him. Number 3. Ernest Tubb. Ernest Tubb is known for honky-tonk country classics like Walking the Floor Over You. His music helped move country music away from soft crooning and into a harder, more working-class sound. He was one of the first true stars of country music and had a massive influence on everyone who came after him. But behind the success, Ernest Tubb was often feared rather than respected. Tubb had a very bad temper. When he felt disrespected or challenged, he reacted quickly and aggressively. He believed strongly in his status and did not like being questioned. Many people in the industry said he expected special treatment and got angry when he did not receive it. The most infamous moment came in the 1950s. After an argument with a disc jockey who criticized his singing, Ernest Tubb pulled out a gun and shot at the man outside a bar in Nashville. The victim survived, but the incident shocked the country music world. Instead of apologizing deeply, Tubb brushed it off. His attitude made things worse. People began to see him as dangerous and unstable. Musicians and radio workers became cautious around him. Nobody wanted to say the wrong thing. Even without violence, Ernest Tubb was known for being harsh. He could humiliate people publicly and fire band members without warning. Loyalty mattered only when it benefited him. If you crossed him, your career could suffer. Despite this, his power protected him for a long time. He owned record stores, had strong industry connections, and was difficult to challenge. Many people stayed silent because they did not want trouble. Later in life, Ernest Tubb calmed down and softened his image. But the damage was already done. His reputation as a bully followed him until the end. Number 2. Lefty Frizzell. Lefty Frizzell is known for smooth, emotional country songs like If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time and Long Black Veil. His singing style changed country music forever. Many artists copied his phrasing and delivery. Elvis Presley and Merle Haggard both admired him. Lefty was not just popular, he was influential, but the same confidence that made him great also made him hard to deal with. Lefty Frizzell had a strong ego. He knew people looked up to him, and he expected special treatment. When things did not go his way, he reacted badly. Promoters and record executives often described him as stubborn and uncooperative. If he felt disrespected, he shut down completely. He also struggled with alcohol. Drinking affected his behavior and his reliability. Lefty missed shows and sometimes refused to perform. Fans were disappointed, and promoters lost money. His career suffered because people could not trust him to be professional. Lefty's relationships were unstable. He pushed people away with his mood swings and selfish decisions. Instead of listening to advice, he did what he wanted. Those closest to him often felt ignored or used. Over time, many people stopped trying to help him. One of the biggest problems was that Lefty did not take care of himself. He ignored his health and continued drinking even as his body weakened. He was hospitalized multiple times but did not change his lifestyle. His influence was massive, but his discipline was missing. Lefty Frizzell passed away young, leaving behind a huge musical legacy and a long list of regrets. Many believe he could have gone much further if he had treated people better and respected his own limits. He changed country music but damaged his own life in the process. Number 1. Ray Price. Ray Price had a reputation for being harsh, controlling, and intimidating. He demanded perfection from everyone around him. If a band member made a mistake, they could be fired instantly. There were no second chances. Musicians often said working for Ray Price felt like walking on a tightrope. He was also known for violent outbursts. One of the most infamous incidents involved Ray Price pulling a gun on someone after a confrontation. This shocked the industry, but did not fully damage his career because of his status. Still, the story followed him everywhere and reinforced his image as dangerous when angry. Ray Price treated people as replaceable. Band members came and went constantly. Loyalty meant very little to him. If you challenged his authority, you were gone. Many musicians respected his talent but avoided him personally. Working with Ray Price paid well, but came with stress, fear, and pressure. His ego played a big role. Ray Price believed he was above criticism and did not take advice easily. When confronted, he reacted defensively and sometimes cruelly. People close to him said he rarely apologized and rarely admitted fault. Even as country music changed, Ray Price refused to soften his personality. While other artists learned to adapt, he stayed rigid and cold. This kept him powerful but isolated. Ray Price left behind great music, but also a reputation for being one of the most feared men in country music history. Talent kept his career alive, but kindness was never part of the deal. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.